This run is the current world record of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Sub 22 might seem close, but right now it's quite unrealistic. A theoretical god run could clock in a few seconds above 22 minutes, but it's hard to see a path to a record below that at the moment. That being said, I have little doubt it'll one day come. Eventually, we'll hear of a 21-minute any percent run, but that day is...
Is that it? Is that 21?
Today.
On June 19th, 2023, New Super Mario Bros. Wii was beaten in under 22 minutes for the very first time, with load times removed. This was a milestone no one saw coming, at least not so soon. Although the record had been within 10 seconds of a sub 22 for nearly 2 years, 21 minutes wasn't seen as a realistic goal for anyone at the top of the leaderboard. However, the sudden discovery of a huge new time save single-handedly transformed sub 22 from a very unlikely milestone into a prize ripe for the picking. This is Above the Castle. Normally, after Bowser becomes a giant at the end of the World 8 Castle, the final level of the game, you begin a chase sequence where you have to use Bowser's fireballs to break through the walls blocking your path to an obstacle course, which ends with a big switch at the end to defeat Bowser and rescue Princess Peach. You can breeze through the second half at your own pace, but in the first half, you are normally forced to wait for the fireballs to open a path. With some clever manipulation, speedrunners would only need 7 fireballs total to break through the walls before the second half. Still, that didn't change the fact that you needed to wait for the walls to break before you could progress, almost like an auto-scroller. But this was just how this part of the Bowser fight always was. For the past 13 years, this was all you can do. Lure fireballs and wait. But not anymore. On June 11th, 2023, it was discovered that you could clip into the ceiling above using a one-tile gap in the wall, and once inside, you can get on top of the ceiling and completely bypass the first half of the escape, saving 9 seconds. The man responsible for the discovery was Cryptic, a top 10 any percent runner with a PB of 22 minutes 13 seconds. Cryptic's discovery came completely out of nowhere, especially since many other people tested out his theory plenty of times before, but nothing ever worked. In addition, there is a massive, impenetrable barrier blocking access to the final switch from above the ceiling that's normally shown on camera. Not that you could ever reach that far above the ceiling anyways. After the first section, the camera moves downwards, forcing Mario to be pushed back in bounds, since the game was programmed to prevent Mario from going too high above, which is why you can't also skip the second half of the escape. Still, Above the Castle was certainly a game changer, yet the context behind its discovery is even more fascinating. When Cryptic first discovered Above the Castle, he didn't reveal it to the public right away, not until nearly a week later. A project that MG Roadkill and Squash 1 had been working on for the past 6 months was about to wrap up, and this discovery popped up at the very end of its production. Above the Castle was reserved as a complete surprise, a cherry on top for the latest New Super Mario Bros. Wii any percent tool-assisted speedrun. For those unaware, a tool-assisted speedrun, or TAS, are theoretically possible speedruns created using an emulator and their supported tools, such as save states, frame advance, and Lua scripting. TASers use these tools, as well as their background knowledge of the game, to painstakingly craft the perfect speedrun. TASes are categorized separately from regular speedruns, as it's a showcase of what strats are possible without cheats or the limitations of human anatomy. This TAS was a collaborative effort mainly between MG Roadkill and Squash 1, with Cryptic joining within the last few weeks of its production, mainly helping with small RNG optimizations. This TAS was a monumental 34-second improvement over Monster's any percent TAS published on TAS videos 3 years earlier, and 25 seconds faster than Cryptic's TAS from October 2021. This new TAS, when converted to RTA timing without loads, comes out to about 21 minutes and 9 seconds, nearly a full minute faster than the human world record. This massive leap in time saved was thanks to a new route that was very different from the previous TASes, which more or less were very optimized versions of the normal speedrun, using mostly the propeller power-up throughout most of the run. That was just the go-to route that was as old as the game itself. But no, this new TAS was different. This new TAS was notable for using the ice flower and the penguin suit. And to say that the penguin suit was used to its fullest potential would be an understatement. In a regular speedrun, as well as previous TASes, you'd grab the propeller suit in 1-1 and hold on to it for most of the run, as aside from a few spots along the route, you wouldn't find one in any levels until the airship in World 8. While the propeller saves a lot of time in certain levels such as 5 Tower to climb up faster, 5-4 to completely skip riding the raft, and the World 8 airship to cross massive gaps and to beat Bowser Jr. faster, it doesn't necessarily save time in many levels along the way. Instead, the TAS forgoes grabbing the propeller in favor of the ice flower in 1-2. With this power-up, you can throw ice balls that can freeze enemies, but that's not all. When Mario slides down a slope, his ground speed is much faster than when he's running. When he has the ice flower though, Mario's slope speed can be temporarily preserved by spamming ice balls after jumping off the slope. The ice balls are thrown in a way so that they disappear faster, since only 2 can appear on a screen at one time with one player. This allows for the slope speed to be preserved for just a bit longer, and that's just the basic speed conservation. If Mario jumps on an enemy the same frame as he jumps from sliding down a slope, he gets a massive horizontal speed boost, which can also be preserved by shooting ice balls mid-air until he touches the ground again. There are also other advantages with the ice flowers, such as faster corner boost off blocks, the ability to easily bypass otherwise annoying enemies, and even using the ice balls to wall jump up a single wall infinitely. The ice flower is kept until the World 5 Fortress, where after visiting the Red Toad house and obtaining a propeller shroom, star, and a penguin suit from the power-up panels minigame, the propeller and star are immediately used. The tower is a mostly vertical level where flying up with the propeller saves a lot of time, but the moving spiked walls at the start limit some of the faster movement options to make an even earlier cycle. Thankfully, the star grants Mario invulnerability for the first half of the level so he can climb up the tower even quicker. After the fortress is cleared, the penguin suit is equipped before entering 5-4, and it is kept on for the rest of the TAS. In addition to having the ability to shoot ice balls like the ice flower, the penguin suit gives Mario the ability to slide across the ground very quickly. Not only can he reach a maximum penguin sliding speed faster than his max running speed, but the properties of the penguin slide can be exploited to gain even more speed than intended. This hyperspeed can be preserved in a similar manner to the ice flower method. To make things even better, this incredible speed can be maintained even in between 2 separate penguin slides. These exploits make for some serious eye candy. Seriously, just take a look at how much faster this is. The time it takes to go out of the way to obtain this power-up was absolutely worth it. And we have yet to talk about one of the most incredible skips in the TAS. At the end of the first screen in the World 8 airship, there is a green pipe that leads further into the level. But there's a twist. I mean, literally, it's twisting. Or rather, rotating along with 3 other pipe-shaped cannons. You get what I mean. If you've ever played this game, you probably remember seeing the green pipe on top, only for it to rotate away, leaving you unable to enter it until it reaches the top once more. This takes around 13 seconds, and there's been no way to skip it for the past 14 years. Not even previous TASes could. That is, until Penguin Mario came to town. By precisely positioning and freezing a couple Mecha Koopas mid-air, the TAS sets up a sequence that allows for Mario to wall jump to the left off of the rightmost and higher Mecha Koopa, then a rightwards wall jump off of the lower left Mecha Koopa. These wall jumps have a faster acceleration than normal due to Mario shooting an ice ball the frame after wall kicking, with him doing twirls right after to gain as much height as possible. The purpose of these wall kicks is to manipulate the camera to load the pipe as late as possible, as that is the cue for it to begin rotating. Now, Mario just needs to get to the pipe in time. Using the increased height from the twirl after the second accelerated wall jump, Mario has barely enough time to slide off the frozen Mecha Koopa and enter the pipe. This is a massive time save, but it is absurdly precise. With not even a whole in-game unit of leniency, this trick is currently TAS only, and unlike Above the Castle, this trick has no chance of becoming RTA viable anytime soon. On the other hand, Above the Castle was found to be very RTA viable upon the release of the TAS. A setup using the propeller was quickly found by Cryptic, and the top runners began to gun for sub 22. 2 days later, CADS would get 2158, and then 2156.733 the very next day. Since then, Sharp and Billy Joe have gotten 21s of their own, with the former achieving a new world record of 21 minutes, 56 seconds, and 400 milliseconds on July 8th, which as of making this video, is the current world record. Out of all the new tricks featured in the TAS, only Above the Castle became viable for speedruns. But even so, the discoveries and work done by MG Roadkill and Squash should not go unnoticed. In the span of 6 months, they took what was considered the optimal route for the past 14 years and completely flipped it on its head. Although the Penguin route may ultimately be TAS only for the foreseeable future, it is amazing to see new discoveries after all these years. Such innovation and creativity deserves applause. Please, go watch the TAS whenever you can. Also, shoutouts to Squash and Cryptic for their help on this video. And if you want to see more like this, consider watching this video I made on how First Cycle Skip was discovered in Majora's Mask. It is yet another story about how a seemingly impossible speedrunning skip was discovered after decades of being a mere pipe dream. Thanks for watching.